So you said that you just got back, Trey. Where were
I
you?
did. Yeah, I was in Colombia, and we're just going to welcome everybody real quick. So, welcome everybody to Word on the Street, powered by Lean Solutions Group. Excited to have Megan and Tyler and Nico jumping in, and we were in Colombia with our teams on our lean sales, Lean Solutions Group teams, and so I was down there I left last Monday night, and I got back yesterday. So it was a long week and a half away from home, but well, here we are. So. Yeah, it's good to be back. Nico, what's up, brother?
Hey, what's going on? I
Nico's got a
just got
fresh
off of
haircut.
freight waves.
Yeah, I need you got a fresh haircut. Looks good.
I
I got a
did.
tie.
I told the barber literally if it's not in my dreads, I want it gone.
Nice. Very clean. Looks good. I got to get mine cut this week. Tyler, your hair is a little long. Do you normally wear a hat on the show? I feel like I don't get
I've
to
always
see
had
the
a hat
lot.
on.
Yeah.
I'm all packed up and ready to get out for this cousin trip. So we're going
Nice.
hatless today.
That makes sense. So that's why we're seeing the locks. We're seeing the flow. Very nice. I don't think I realized your hair was that long. Has it always been that long? Oh, you're muted now.
Everybody thinks it's a mullet because I always have a hat on, but it's not a mullet.
Pull it back. Pull it back. Pull it back to the top. Oh, you froze. Pull it back to the top. Pull it back. Let's see. All right. So the side's still long too. It's not just the top. Okay. It's the whole. It's everything. Okay. Very good. Nice. Excellent. Well, I got to get my haircut this week because I took my clippers with me to Colombia, but I just didn't trust myself without my wife around to clean it up in the back. So we'll do that later on. So not a problem. All good. So Nico, you're on Freightways. Lots going on with Freightways. They're like killing it with the news when it comes to what's happening with the ports and all that. What were you on What the Truck or what'd you do?
Yeah, I was on Rent the Truck, and it was like a connections day on What the Truck because
Really?
TJ and the guys over at Hold My Beer were like the first act, and then Taylor
nice.
Baker from Henrith was on right after that, and I'm on also connected with him. And then there was this guy in between who you've met, Ed Burns, over at Burns Logistics, which of course made me mention you in their comment feed. And then I was on. So I was like, man, I had like a personal connection to everybody on the show.
Yeah, very cool. Well, if you do this long enough, I kind of think that's the way it goes, so kind of know the main people. Exactly. So
I want to pull that
cool.
like 7 degrees of like Kevin Bacon into like 3 degrees of Nico at Monkey Business. Like that.
Who do you think they said before Kevin Bacon? I mean, the guy's only been around like 50 years. I mean, who are
Marilyn Monroe or Debbie
from
Dallas?
They knew it was Kevin Bacon before it really was Kevin Bacon.
Maybe that's why his parents named him Kevin Bacon, was because it's already being used. Maybe it's already being said. That was the name. This is a new thing relatively in the world history. I mean, this whole 7 degrees is, or 6 degrees, whatever it is, of Kevin Bacon. It's relatively new.
There must be one of Chuck Norris, right?
Well, Chuck Norris is obviously, but again, he's still relatively new. I'm thinking, like, what did they say before about these types of connections? This isn't the first time we've discovered this degrees of connections, right? Or maybe is it because the world has become more connected? It wasn't before.
I think it's really only because the saying, like, 7 degrees of separation, like just really morphs well into 7 degrees of Kevin Bacon. Like that's the same like rhyming hook on the end.
It's branding.
So I think that's really why it sells. It's the branding, exactly.
And personalizing the saying. That's right. There's somebody that's wrapped around the saying now. So for those marketers out there, personalize your brand. It's important.
Shame on me for showing up late, but I don't know how we got in this conversation. But do you all think that that's true, that you are only 7 degrees separated from anybody in the world?
I don't have data to support that.
Yeah, somebody told me that, and I was like, I don't know if I believe that or not.
Listen, I will say this, though. Let me just give you an example of why I think it might be true, okay? On Saturday, we were in Comuna 13, which is an area of Medellin. It's just one of the 16 communities called Comuna 13, all right? We walked around this area, 180,000 people, okay, in this little area. We had a tour guide that took us around. At the end of the tour, we ended up at a bar, okay? We're at the bar, we're drinking, having a good time, dancing. There's a guy who's kind of DJing and, working us with the crowd, having fun, right? And of course, I'm trying to learn Spanish. So I walk over with one of my guys. I just randomly choose a guy named Sebastian. I say, hey, let's go over here because I wanted to speak Spanish to a native, but I know that I would have gotten in trouble because I can't speak Spanish very well. So I took Sebastian with me as a translator, right? Sebastian meets the DJ who just happened to come over and stop and start talking to us. And it turns out he's the brother of the guy who's going to be Sebastian's best man at his wedding.
That's crazy.
So
is it not crazy? Right?
So
Like
I got
nuts.
one better for you.
I'm sure you do. But before you do that, the point is this, like, you know, the fact that I chose Sebastian, that we were in this area and that they talked about his wedding and his brother and made the connection is like unfathomable, right? Those kind of things happen all the time around the world. So I'd love to see the data. If anybody out there has data around 6 or 7 degrees of separation and some data integrity that shows that, either proves it or disproves it or beats it, I want to see it.
Yeah.
All right. With
I
that
have
said,
to.
all right, Nico, share your story real quick.
So
You always have
really
to one up
short,
me, Nico.
actually.
That's how this works.
No,
You have to
no,
one
no,
up
no,
me. I get
no,
it. I get
because
it.
this is
Oh, go
it's
ahead.
an interesting story. When my brother met my now wife, I found out that my brother was best friends with her brother in high school, and I never knew it.
It
So,
happens all the time.
so I
Happens.
married my brother's best friend's sister, basically.
All right. That's cool. Here's another one. I'm just going to go one more. I'm going to top you. So, got connected with Jake Dunlap on LinkedIn, right? You guys know Jake Dunlap,
Oh,
sales
love
guru.
me some
Goes
Jake
for- yeah.
Dunlap.
Love me some Jake Dunlap. Did you know that Jake Dunlap and I grew up 10 minutes apart from each other? And I'm pretty sure he watched me play a basketball game in high school. We played against him and we beat him. Small world, I'm telling you.
Never let him
Small
live
world.
down
And
too.
you beat them.
We did beat
What
them.
more
That's
data
fair.
do you need for 7 degrees than that?
I mean, we got 3 good stories. We got 3 anecdotal accounts. I think it's definitive. at
And I
this point.
think
There's really
Megan
no
had
arguing
one
it.
too. She started.
Megan, share. I didn't hear this.
I'm on mute.
Oh, you're on mute. Yeah, there you go.
Okay, so I just did a quick Google search and I found that Microsoft did a study. It's dated. It's in 2006. And they found on average any 2 people that are linked, they were trying to find out if any 2 people can be linked by fewer than 7 connections. And they found that at the time, Microsoft Instant Messaging platform was used by nearly half of the world's like instant messaging traffic or whatever. So they worked on the premise that the 2 people were considered acquaintances if they had exchanged an instant message. And after looking at all the data, they found that on the average length was 6.6 degrees of separation, with 78% of the pairs connected in 7 or fewer links.
And I can only imagine that that's gotten better
That's,
since,
yeah,
since
and that's
2000. Was it 2006? Yeah. So I
Oh,
mean,
come
you know,
on, especially with Facebook.
with social media, it has to be better now than ever. I mean, I can send a text to Rory McIlroy and he might respond. You know?
Do it.
I'd love to actually. I'd love to get a response from Rory.
Dude, I've talked to both Blake Shelton and Sonny Corinthos from General Hospital online.
Yeah, but do they remember it, Nico? That's the question. You know.
But does that
that's, you know.
matter?
No, but I'm just curious. You know, I have to somehow like try to destroy Nico's story like that. I've got to, right? I mean, it makes me feel better. All right, everybody.
I feel that
So-
it's really weird that you challenged me to be memorable.
You're already memorable. I mean, look at you. You know, I mean, you're iconic. So I got to do something. But anyways, all right. Well, it's been a big week, everybody. I mean, I don't know if you guys have been paying attention to the news, but a lot has gone down this week, especially in transportation. The world, especially the United States, is starting to actually understand that supply chain is important. That there's major issues. I think I told you guys this. One of my friends, who's a basketball coach in Illinois, sent me a text like 2 weeks ago saying it's a supply chain issue as bad as everybody's saying it is. And so last night, my wife and I are sitting there watching the news, and you know, the Biden administration, you know, whatever, getting involved in the port of LA and blah blah blah. And she's like, "Oh, look, they're doing something." I'm like, "Yeah, they're about 8 months late. They're about 10 months behind on this." And the only reason, in my opinion, that politicians get involved typically is because it's in their best interest. I'm just so jaded at this point. But you know what? They got an election that starts in January. And if people don't have a good Christmas, they're going to blame somebody. And I just feel like they're getting involved, you know, and kudos to them for getting involved, but they're 8 months late to the party, you know, maybe even longer.
Politicians only get involved when there's enough public sentiment for them to bank off of.
Right. Whenever it's in, and again, this goes back to the premise we talked about before. This is why I despise politicians. I feel like they're always only working in their best interest. You know,
Having an agenda,
if this was
for sure.
if this was really an issue that they cared about. I know Chris Jolly's here in the first 15 minutes. Everybody, what's up?
What up?
I'm gonna
What's
stop
good?
the show for this. What's up? All right, Chris Jolly. Hey, listen, I saw a photo of you leading a panel, and I just have to know, was it Photoshop or did that happen?
No, that was photoshopped. Actually, there's some great third-party websites you can pay.
Awesome. That's what I thought.
Man.
That's what I thought. I thought there's no way this guy got invited to host a panel. You know.
I know.
I did like. I'll tell you what I did like though. I loved how you put on there one step closer to, and I think I can't remember exactly what you said, but to being on the main stage, I think, or something like that.
Yeah,
What did you
selling
say
out
exactly?
arenas.
Selling out arenas. Yes, I love
Yeah.
that, dude. I love that. Not only do you believe it, but you're telling people about it. It's gonna happen.
Yeah.
I just want to be your assistant when you get that gig. I just want to be on the road.
I was saying,
put the
entourage.
Mic on. Exactly.
on the
Right?
entourage.
I'll
You
stand
guys
and
are
be
all coming to hang
security.
out. I guarantee if I
Exactly.
fucking sell out an arena, you guys are all coming. Like, let's be real.
That's
Yes.
fine. We will be the groupies. That's all right.
Let's do it. I'm down. My boy Chris Jolly. That's
Trey
what we're
has to
doing. No,
drink
very
one
excited.
beer though. Trey has to drink one beer. No, I'm just kidding. I'd never do that.
But we
Hey.
all need a cap. We all need a cap.
Let me-
We're backwards.
Let me tell you guys a story about this, because I was in Colombia this week, and I don't know if you know or not, but Colombians, they don't mind drinking a little bit. All right. So I was out with our lean sales team, and everybody's having a good time. Here's what they do. They all get their favorite drink, maybe a fruit drink, maybe a mixed alcoholic beverage or something like that. And then at some point, somebody goes, let's get shots. And then they start doing rounds of shots, right? And so they're trying to get me to take a shot. I'm like, are you crazy? Like, I got buzzed off of wine samples. You want me to take a shot? Right? Like, I'm not doing that, right? And so they all took a shot. Well, I wanted to just at least I wanted to know what it tastes like, because I know I wouldn't like it. I hate the bitter taste. So I took a shot glass that had already been shot, and I drank what was left. I'm talking like the bottom of the barrel, right? But people saw me, take the shot. And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, no. Like, I did not take the shot. It was pretty funny. So we had a
You
good time.
took
So
a secondhand shot, like that was residue from somebody else's shit.
residue, they throw it back. It's not like they're licking it like a bottle. They're just throwing it back. There's nothing else
To be
coming
honest,
back.
Trey, in the days of COVID, that is the last thing I would do.
Listen,
He's
All right,
lived
I'm
with
not-
one off
At
the
least
deep
wearing
end.
a
I'm not
mask?
concerned.
Alcohol.
Were you wearing a
doesn't
mask
work.
at least?
Let's not pretend that coronavirus is going to survive Colombian alcohol.
Yeah, I mean, there's other issues at stake, but no, like, it just wasn't a big deal. I didn't mind. Like, I'm not concerned about that, Chris Jolly. I'll just be honest. I'm not concerned. So
Hey, Jolly.
I'm not
Jolly,
halfway
did
home
you
on
turn that?
vaccination. I can't get the stupid thing.
Jolly,
What's
did
up,
you term that secondhand shot? Did he term that? I've never heard that before.
Dude, you should totally trademark that bad boy.
Yeah.
Secondhand shot.
That's no secondhand drinks here is like that's okay. Well, before COVID, I don't know what it is now, but before, if you did not have any money, you would walk around, see whatever is left on the table, and you grab it.
Start drinking.
That's like, as a student, that's what you used to do.
That's how you do it on a budget, right there, everybody. That's how you drink on a budget. Just
Building
wait till
up the
people are
immunity
done.
system.
As soon as they get up, before the busser comes and takes it, you just go over and grab it and start drinking. Secondhand
Chris,
shot, secondhand drink, Chris.
Wouldn't a secondhand shot be a shot that somebody threw in your face, though? Because like secondhand smoke is smoke that you encounter just because you're
I
in
see
the
where you're
room
going
with
with
somebody
this.
else who's smoking. So like a
I see where
secondhand
you're going
shot,
with
like
this.
somebody has to like splooge a shot on you.
But
Did you say
secondhand
splooge?
shot.
Let's say pour the
That's
rest
all I
of the
heard.
shot.
That's
Let's
all
go
I
with that.
heard. I'm a child. I am a child at heart. Okay.
Oh,
I
that's
had
awesome.
to make Coleman laugh. I really did.
New words today, everybody on the word on the street. I'm telling you, we're coming up with
Yeah.
some great content here.
One of the best
Super.
with the dictionary.
Super exciting. Oh my gosh. Okay, let's bring this back. All right. So, Chris, thanks for joining us. Good to see you, my friend. And congratulations on the panel.
Thank you.
Excited for you as always. So very good. All right. So everybody, we got a couple things to talk about. So one thing I want to talk about is not just a supply chain issue, but I've been very intrigued with Craig Fuller and this whole flying magazine thing. He's been posting a lot of stuff on it. And like I've always wanted to fly. I've always wanted, that's like a big dream of mine is to have my own pilot's license. And he's kind of like reinvigorating that desire and that dream to do that, especially as I go through airports. Like it took 2.5 hours to get through, from showing up at the airport to getting to my gate in Medellin. boy, I would have loved to have had a private flight on that one. That would have been awesome. But so I want to launch a poll, and I want to get your feedback on flying in general, what you guys think about that. We're going to talk about that. So I just launched it. Go ahead and take that. While you're doing that, we're going to listen to a little Lost Boy by Ruth B. I'm in a little pop mood today, everybody. So that's what we're going to do. And then we'll talk about flying in just a minute. Shout out to Craig Fuller and Freight Alley and the crew over at Freightways for buying flying. Well, I think Craig Fuller buying Flying Magazine and some of the stuff he's doing. By the way, as you're taking this poll, did you know that Craig is now creating a resort that is a fly-in resort in Tennessee? It's like 1,800 acres, and it's a fly-in resort. You got to fly your plane in, chill at the resort, lie out. I'm pretty excited about that. You know,
is it like Freightwaves sponsored or just Craig Fuller?
No, I think you know, it's a good question. I think that Craig purchased flying. I don't think Freightwaves purchased flying. Like Freightways purchased American. Yeah, Craig, like Freightways purchased American Shipper, and I initially thought they purchased flying because it kind of goes together. But this is more of a personal thing for Craig. What he's doing there.
If you follow Craig on Facebook, like he's like it's great. I actually like it's so much more personal on Facebook, I would say, than him.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
And yeah, so that was always a personal dream of his. Purchasing that or having one.
Yeah.
One thing which is quite nice. Do you know about his kids?
I know about his twins that were just born, but I don't know anything really.
Yeah, finally they got the tubes out. So like,
I did see that. That was really
nice
cool.
to know people doing that.
Yeah, no, that was really cool. But no, it's really intriguing. Like I'm really hoping that at some point I get to experience this fly-in resort. Like that'd be it. Chris, sell out that arena so we can get the private jet, and then from there we'll go straight to
right on your pigtails.
Fly-in resort that Craig Fuller's
you should have done a poll. I would love to know that, but for next time, you should have done a poll.
Send me a private text, and I'll be sure to add it on.
You should listen to Bill Burr. He talks a lot about getting his helicopter license. Apparently, it's not that expensive.
No, it's not. It's more, I think, of a timing issue on a lot of that. So, anyways, with that said, let's go ahead and talk about the poll. I just showed the results. Number one, have you ever flown on a private jet? None of us here have been on a private jet. I have been in I've been in a propeller plane, which would kind of be close, but not a jet. It's just a smaller one. I had a friend in high school, played baseball with his dad, had his own pilot license and did that. I had a friend in Oregon who was getting his license. Now, this is probably scary and maybe stupid on my part. I actually went up in the plane with him while he was still getting his license, him and the trainer, and I sat in the back.
You were with a trainer, you're fine. I do that.
I know. Like, that's why I thought it was okay, but I mean, he was technically flying the whole time. Like the landing could have just been disastrous and I was in the back, but it worked out. So it was good, but I really enjoyed that. But I've never been on a private jet. I hope to, one day try that out and experience it. But I will say this: the people who have say it's much more there's more turbulence and bounces around a lot. So some people really struggle on the private jet. It's so small. Hang on, Nick. What, Nico?
Have you ever been on one of those like puddle hopper planes from like Houston or
like
Dallas
50 seaters?
To El Paso?
Yeah. Loud.
How could you get on one of those and then want to get on a private jet?
I'm going to think that private jets are smoother in some sense because they're jet. They're probably not as loud. I'm going to guess. Not
unless you're like, Trump level jet. I mean, if you're like, regular working guy level of private jet, that's what you're flying.
I don't know if regular working guy is flying a jet. There's not too many of those around. But Nick, what were you going to ask?
No, I was saying, does David not have a private jet?
He does. Yeah. I mean, he used it for business to, get where he needs to go. I think some of the sales guys have actually done it, but I don't live in Florida, so I'm just not.
I would put a target in place and say, like, if I hit the target.
I'm sure at some point it'll work out. I would just assume that, but
Trey, I was talking to my CPA earlier this year, and he because he was bringing that up about when your business there's massive tax breaks and incentives for buying. Like that's why corporations buy.
Yeah.
Jets.
It's a write-off.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's a massive tax savings.
Exactly.
Not that I was even supposed to be talking to him about it, but I was like, hey, because I was talking about with my vehicle.
You're dreaming, bud. You're in the future. I love it.
It's already there. The only thing
the
only thing that's between me and my goals is the time it's going to take me to get there, Trey.
See what Chris does.
I don't know where I can park that plane in front of my house now.
Chris takes a picture of Grant Cardone on the private jet and just photoshops his face right into it. I bet that's up on your dream board right now. I would just guess. I'm just going to guess that that's up there.
It will be. I mean, there's a lot
exactly.
of things that are on my dream board. So.
Exactly. So no, but you're right. Like I was speaking with a friend of mine that has they have a brokerage in Kansas City, but also a factoring company, and the factoring company is just printing money. And they bought a private jet, and he was like, "Listen, it just makes more sense." You know, he's like, "If we need to go visit a customer, it makes more sense because we can hop on the plane, we can go down there, we can be back by dinner. We don't have to deal with the lines. You know, we're going to get massive business out of it." He goes, "It just makes more sense." He goes, we're gonna pay for tickets, and then we're gonna lose time. How much is our time worth? I got 5 guys that are going with me, 4 guys. How much is each of their time worth? They're gonna take, you know, an hour to get to the airport, an hour to sit at the airport, you know, an hour to come. I mean, like, because I'd rather
Plus
have 7 hours,
hotels.
8 hours with the client. Exactly.
Yeah.
Fly right back home. So, you know, at some point in your business, I think it does make sense. But what's really intriguing is with Craig really pushing this, you know, with Flying Magazine, I think it's actually causing people like us and others to actually talk about it. You know, and private flying and purchasing of jets has never been higher than it is right now. It's just like RVs; they can't get enough parts to build them fast enough. It's pretty wild. So, all right, question 2: do you have your pilot's license? Nobody here does. I was hoping somebody might have it, but nobody here does. I don't as well, but something I'd like to have. If you don't, do you want to get your pilot's license? 4 of you say yes, and I'm going to be 5. So 5 out of 8 of us want to get our pilot's license. So Craig Fuller, buy a pilot school and give us a cut, buddy. We're going to talk to you. So we'd like to get some lessons.
Anybody, do you know, Trey, how many hours it is to get your?
You know, I don't, but I'm going to say it's somewhere around like 25. When I was talking to my friend, he was telling me about the whole process when he was going through it. And I want to say that it was like 25 to 50. I know it's a wide range, but I think 25 to 50 hours in the air is, I think, required to get your license. And most of it is with an instructor. And then there's actually a part without an instructor you have to do before you actually get your license. Great story. When I was teaching high school physics back in 2004, one of my students got her license in high school. And so it was pretty cool because the last part of getting your license is you have to go by yourself and you have to do these different maneuvers, you know, landing, takeoffs, and other things like that. And so that day she invited me out. And so I drove out after school. I got to watch her with her parents just take off and land. Like, it was like a really cool moment to see a 17-year-old that really wanted it. And she's flying this plane, like no big deal. And I was like, man, that is so awesome. I was just incredibly jealous about that, but it was pretty neat.
Trey,
Yeah.
can I cut you off for a minute? Can you let
Absolutely.
Aaron, I think.
Oh yeah. I'm sorry. It's yeah. I've got him. Yeah, it's
you.
covered up. Yeah, thank you. See, I need your help. I need your help.
See,
Oh, they're
that's what I'm here
coming in
for.
now. Sorry, everybody. I got, you know, I'm working on the screens today, and I'm just.
This didn't happen when Chris Jolly was a host. I'm just gonna let you know that right now.
My girl. That's my girl, Diana. That's my girl.
And I can't refute that. I can't combat that. You know, this is my downfall right here, is getting people into the show. Aaron, welcome. Juan, thanks for joining. And
Hey,
TJ Knutson, everybody, is on the show today. It's a big show today, but everybody, big show.
Voted the 2021 Northern Indiana's most handsome man, TJ Knutson. Look at that smile.
Northeastern Indiana. It's not northern. It's northeastern. It's
sorry, northeastern
up there. That's
okay.
right. Fort Wayne, the Fort Wayne area. That's right.
We're gonna narrow it down, Trey. Is that what we got to do?
Oh, well, that's what I heard. I saw the press release. It was, you know, we got to be accurate about these things. You know, that's the way it goes. That's the way it goes. But all right. Anyways, all right. So last question in regards to flying that we've been talking about is, what would keep you from getting your pilot's license the majority of its time? Which, again, Craig Fuller, figure this out. Help us out. We got to figure this out. One is cost of license. Does anybody know how much it costs to get a pilot's license? I think it's less than $5,000 total.
Oh,
What?
Really? Like
okay.
50 hours,
Yeah.
$5,000?
I think it's less
Why
than
am I not
5,000.
flying?
I don't know, Juan. Like you especially. I mean, you know.
Oh yeah,
definitely
like,
get that.
I got more, like plenty of
Okay.
fucking simulation hours here.
Two of you cost of the plane. I do think there's opportunities just to buy hours. Makes it much easier. You don't get your own plane, but you get hours of a certain type of plane. I think that's the way to do it. But certainly cost is an issue. Only one of you fear. I love that. Yes. No fear of heights or danger. Let's do it. Let's start flying, people. I can't wait for flying cars. I hope they happen in my lifetime, but I want to buy a car so I can fly it on the road, and at some point I can just take off. That's what I want to do. I hope that happens.
What kind of license are you looking for? Because there's different
We're talking about just the basic basic personal aviation pilot's license, just for a single prop, no instrumentation, just basic.
like a private pilot
Yeah,
license.
it's private license. Yeah, somebody figure it out and throw it in
Well, I'll
in
just
the
tell
chat
you,
box.
I Googled it.
Well, I'm saying throw it in the chat box. We got it later. Is what I'm saying. Like,
Aaron's like, it took me 3 seconds. Okay, I get it.
Help us out.
It's like, why are
Google
there
it.
so many
I'm trying
people sitting on here not Googling something?
I'm trying to watch if somebody's dropping into the waiting room. I'm not trying to Google anything anymore. I've got to stay focused here. Already getting enough slack for that. So it's rough.
That's why
Well,
we're here.
it'll be great to see if one of us or many of us get our PODS license at some point. I think that'll be pretty neat. And if we do, then of course, then we got to run around the country, pick each other up, and head to Chris Jolly's sold out arena speaking engagement. So
We will have a Stivus 21 plane for sure. So just keep your eyes on that one.
is it going to be green? Is it going to be a green plane?
Of course it will be.
I mean, like, hydrogen powered maybe or something. I don't know.
Yeah, we're already looking at that.
All right.
So
Very good. Very good. Excellent. All right, TJ, what's up, man? Good to see you, bro.
What's going on?
A lot of news in the life of TJ Knutson lately. A lot of news. We have a new transportation club. When's the golf tournament?
You're not invited, but it's
What?
It'll be in the spring.
Whoa.
Well, I mean, that's the only way that you can win it. I get it. I understand. I totally get it.
Yeah,
But,
because we want to make sure they're not rigged. That's the biggest thing. But you can be my caddy. I need a nice caddy. I've seen your calves. You can work it.
I can hold the umbrella if it rains.
Hold my bag. We're talking freight.
Yep, that's exactly right. So tell me real quick about the evolution of the Northern Indiana Transportation Club, I believe it's called, correct?
Yep. Yeah. Yes. Me and Tony Darnell talking. Northern Indiana is kind of a different type of area. There's a lot of freight comes out of it. A lot of manufacturing, all different types of things. Crossroads of America. So a lot of supply chain comes through, and there's an Indianapolis club, but I mean, Fort Wayne's big, but we wanted to be able to have it encompass the Elkhart area, which is obviously the RV and camper boat capital of the world, manufacturing wise. A guy that I've known for a while in the industry is basically revamping and restarting up the Port of Gary. We've got a couple other people in other areas. So, we wanted to be able to have, events in different cities in Northern Indiana. So it's the first one to ever be regional. I don't like doing things. I like being different. And
clearly, yeah.
In this case, it was more not forced to, but it made the most sense. We brought Pete Kempf on board. Guy just does everything. I mean, he's just a facilitator. He gets things done.
Awesome guy. Yep.
And so Anton King, who's the executive director of DeKalb County Economic Development, is involved. A lot of connections there. And then Josh Hunter's the other one. He's treasurer. He works, owns his own company, does a lot of port, ocean freight. And salt brings salt into all different ports. So it's a nice little mix, and we got a lot of connections already. So where it goes.
I think you're the king of creating the right people and to create a really good mix. You did that on the show. You're not doing that with the transportation club. I think you have a skill at that, man. You should do more with that.
Well, I've been put in some spots, in my career. We go fast, and it was like, hey, make this happen. And I just learned that, hey, I got to be efficient here. So I got to surround myself with people that are better than me and better than me at certain things. My dad was always a really, really successful coach, and one thing he always said was, it was all the people that he had, on his staff that made it.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. I think you surround yourself with the right people.
Yep.
You get a lot more done than by yourself. And I think that takes two things. I think it takes a lot of self-awareness of what you're good at, where you struggle, but it also takes a ton of humility. That's really key. I think you have to just be okay with not being the best at everything on a team, not being the know-it-all, not being the person who is the best. I
learned real quick when I came into the freight industry. I came in cocky. I was in sales, and people didn't like that. As soon as I started helping and wanting to learn, I got accepted a lot more in a lot of other places. Then I realized what the freight industry was, and that there is a shit ton to learn. So, I just started surrounding myself with people like Christopher Evans Jolly over there, and Nick Rumer and Nico. Those guys, you learn something from everybody.
Christopher Evans.
Christopher Evans.
I don't even know your middle name. I feel like we're not as close as we once were, my friend. Christopher Evans.
It's Steven.
I was surprised to hear my name.
Oh,
on that
Stevens.
list.
Christopher Stevens.
Steven, not plural. There's
Steven,
only
Christopher
one of me.
Steven.
Oh, I thought we played Pee-wee soccer together. It's a different Chris.
Christopher Steven. Very good. Very good. I got it. Excellent. Well, I get to tell the story often when anybody wants to hear about playing in the NAI Final Four tournament, basketball tournament in college. And the only reason that happened is because we had 12 guys on our team that we knew our role, and we knew that, like I averaged 3 points a game, but I got to play in the Final Four. And that's so I was with people that were way better than me in other areas, and because we came together, we all got to be a part of something that was way bigger than what we could have done on our own. And I think
you're like this. I could just see you being Steve Kerr. The dude only started like 12 games his whole career and never averaged more than 8 points, but he was like, everybody knows him. Ice the knees, ice the threes, straight grip.
He was exactly what they needed.
Ice the knees, ice the threes. It was funny because I was a freshman that year. I was the only freshman I got to play. So it was a really exciting experience for me. We had an All-American Chris Jones that my job was, I bring the ball down the court, I get the ball to Chris Jones, I go back and play defense. At the end of the game, I get to shoot free throws if we're winning. That was kind of it. That was how it all worked out. Hold the ball till they foul me, I shoot free throws, I average 3 points a game, we win. That was it. That was the formula.
Did you have the shark fin back then, or?
I did not have the shark fin back then. I had more of kind of like, I actually had long hair. My freshman year, I grew it all out. I looked like Tyler. If you look earlier on the show, Tyler was with us. He had the long hair. I had long hair and I had to cut it back a little bit, but it was kind of long. I got some pictures. Here you go.
No, you're good.
Pictures, Trey. Were you a guard, Trey? Were you a guard?
That was me back
then. What were you?
I'm not gonna lie. I was kind of hoping that you were just born with the shark fin.
That's a hold up one. He's holding up.
That's the shape. That's actually only the shape of his head, right?
That's the story I should go with. It. I just came out of the womb just like this. But yeah, I'm holding up number one. That's my play. That's I'm gonna shoot the ball, everybody. That's what that play is.
He's
right
holding
there.
up 1 p.m. Eastern. Hold my sandwich.
But you're absolutely right about that. If you're able to coalesce a group that can do things that you can't do, you can do a lot more than you could ever do on your own.
I want to become better. You know what I mean? Like I find I'm out, I'm looking around. I see Nico doing something. I'm like, dude, I'm gonna involve this guy. You know what I mean? And Nick Rumor, Chris has got too famous to be, he's too busy now. He can't even give me any time of day. But
I know.
All
TJ,
that stuff. Me and Aaron.
TJ, you can't text me an hour before Hold My Beer and be like, "Hey, can you host?" I come on, man.
Every time, but you know what? I'm always like,
that's only Nick and I. Only Nick and I will do that.
Yeah, as I say,
Rumor's too much on his plate.
There. Like in Scotland, time doesn't matter. He's there.
Yeah. Rumor's also 6 beers deep at that time because it's 2 a.m. Like he's fucking.
Oh, it's so good. This is great. Hey, Raquel, what's up? How are you? Where are you driving to?
Hi. Oh, my husband needed me to drop him off somewhere so he could get another car and bring it to our house. So
you said that like you're excited about it. That sounded like you were really hoping for that today.
I love interrupting my day, I promise. It's fine.
That's awesome. Well, drive safely. Always good to see you as well. Join the show, which is awesome. Aaron, how are you? How's everything going? Aaron, by the way, Aaron put in the cost for a pilot license. A little more expensive than I thought, $8,300 to $12,300 for just a private pilot license. So a little more expensive, but it's all based on the hour. So you pay by the hour as you do that. So if it takes you, 5 months to do that, or it takes you 2 months, that's the overall cost, I think is what it is. So
By the way, did you know that flying is one of the highest paid trades in the country that does not require a college degree?
You don't have to have a college degree?
Did you Google that?
Oh.
Actually, I've known that for years, oddly.
Before Google, this is pre-Google.
Never
right here.
challenge my knowledge of pointless facts that I can work into a story at some point.
That's why
I do this for a living.
Nico, as in commercial planes?
Commercial pilots, like flying for American Airlines, Delta, stuff like that. Like it does not require a college degree.
So based on Aaron's information, a commercial pilot license costs between $20,000 and $90,000. So it's probably like more of a school, I would imagine, but it's not college.
That's
flight
school. Because one of my
I hope they're going to school. Like, please, I don't want me just hopping into the cockpit.
Next time Coleman gets on a plane and he goes past the pot, he's gonna look over and be like, "You guys, hey, where'd you guys go to school?"
Yeah.
College. Southwest. I think they'll just use Cliff Notes.
Diploma up there. What do you got? Let's see it.
Only many of them are going to be like, I was in the fucking Navy and the Air Force. Is
Yes,
that good enough for you?
Shut up and go sit down.
I would prefer that. Give me that all day.
I just sit in the front row on every flight, and just in case something goes down, and that's how I plan to get my hours in. You know what I mean? First to the cabin.
I love it. Exactly. Is anybody here fly the plane? He's just like, I'll go. I'm right now. I'll go.
I'll figure it out.
My buddy at Circle, Andy Green, now he's had him and his dad. They live out in Cherubusco. It's like all flatland. They've had planes forever. And he flies, and we used to take his plane up to Detroit all the time to go see customers, golf outings, whatever it was. You know, like a nice little 30-minute flight up there, and we were. I mean, I've read it's small, like a prop plane. Like we take off from his house, which is like a grass flat takeoff runway, and then we go to like a small airport or whatever. But it's pretty cool. We get our clubs barely in there. We're going to a golf outing, but the one time we were looking at the big house. We were going over to Ann Arbor, and he's like, "Oh shit, that you see the airport down there?" And I'm like, "Yeah, there is one down there." He's like, "Oh shit, that's ours." And he's like, and he starts diving. I'm like, "Oh my god!" So I'm not a big plane guy, and
just take another lap around, man. Just slow down.
You know how to fly though. It's like you have this like it's like they're so comfortable. He knows like he's like it's all about the balance. Like everything's balanced on the plane. Like if I go up here on the dash like this, you'll see. And like he did that. And like the nose started going down. I'm like, okay, dude, like stop. And so he's coming. He's like, we're coming in too steep. He's like, I gotta take a big step around. And then we were coming into the runway, and he's like, we're still coming in too fast. I'm gonna have to do a skeet landing. I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, a little skeet landing. And so when you're coming in too fast, like right before you hit the runway, he turns it sideways, right? To slow.
That doesn't sound right.
And then right when he hits and then turns it to hit the runway, and you go skirt and hit the runway and land it. I'm like, oh my god, dude.
How does that go? What's that?
It was nothing to him. Like that's what you got to do.
Sounds like my nightmare. Oh my god.
It's terrible.
I can see TJ if there's ever a situation on a commercial jet line. He gets up there, he puts the headphones on. Hey, everybody, this is TJ Knutson, president of Northern Indiana Transportation Club and voted sexiest man in Fort Wayne. I need you to show me what these gauges mean real quick. I got my hand on the joystick. We're good here.
Yeah, subscribe to my beer as well.
By the way, just really quick, I do not want to hear one comment after we get off this panel about my dropping splooge earlier. When we just had TJ drop skeet all over the place.
I didn't name it.
What is skeet?
I was just giving you the name of it.
What does skeet mean? I'm not sure. Never heard of it.
When you land,
listen to Lil Jon. Listen to Lil Jon.
When we landed. Oh, I see. Oh, you mean like what is that? Yeah.
I was a DJ 15 years ago playing that song. I know exactly what you're talking about, Nico.
We were halfway. We were halfway to had to get fuel one time, and we were taking off, and like the door was like cracked at the top, and he's like, we're already taking off, like we're already in the air, and he's like, dude, your door's not shut all the way. And I'm like, what? And he's like, yeah, you see the crack? He's like, hold on to it. I'm like, he's like, I'll just circle around, I'll land, and I'll just keep rolling, open it up, close it, and I'll just take off again. I'm like, what is going on, dude? I mean, like, but that's the thing. Like these pilots, like when you're a pilot, you're so comfortable. Like it was like nothing to him. Like, oh, it's not a big deal. This is what we do. Okay.
So Kyle, you've missed the keywords for the day on Word on the Street.
Skeet?
Yeah, skeet is one of them. That's one of the words, and the other one is splooge. I guess is that am I saying it correctly? Splooge.
What the hell have you guys been talking about?
Yes. God, I'm googling this shit.
Splooge?
It's a great question, Kyle. It's a great question, but you know,
no, I know what those words mean. I don't need to be concerned about googling that. Why are we talking about that?
The difference on today's show, everybody, is TJ Knutson. I just want to point this out. All right, it's really that's the difference on today's show, and so we have to give credit where credit is due. So, yeah, exactly. Greg Roberts, what's up, brother? How
oh my god, I can't believe it. I can't believe I googled that.
Juan, don't do it. Oh man, don't do
it. See you later, guys.
Don't lie.
Yep, we'll see you later.
Make sure your wife doesn't see it where you just googled.
All right, anybody.
Oh my god.
Okay.
What did I just join?
Let's bring this back around, everybody. Let's bring it back around. All right. So, couple of things I want to talk about here before we end up. A couple things we'll talk about. So first of all, we got the TIA 3PL Extend next week. Our man Chris Jolly's going to be there. Are you taking the main stage? Are you speaking?
Yes, I will.
Is it sold out? Does this count? Is it sold out?
Not yet. I don't know.
Can I ask you a question, Chris?
Do we have to call TJ Skeet for the rest of the show?
We should.
Yes, Skeet.
Because he changed his name.
Knutson. Skeet, can you?
First name Skeet, last name Skeet.
So, Chris, I got a question. Chris, I saw you were speaking the other day, and we're talking about how you want to be a speaker and everything. And like when you do those speeches and you got to get up in a professional format, what I saw that you still had the backwards hat on.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. This is a legitimate question. Like, did you have to sit and decide whether or not you were going to dress up, like wear a suit or whatever to look really professional, or go with that because that's just like what your brand is?
You know Chris Jolly at all? I got a question.
Why do you think Trey jails his hair every damn day for a reason?
Hey,
some days I don't even have to.
Events. I thought maybe he'd be like,
I'm dressing up in a polo shirt where I'm from.
Right.
Yeah, and
that
and
look on
branding.
Chris's face was just it's exactly the facial expression I would have had if you asked me the same question. No, I'm not dressing up. If you bring me in to host an event, I'm going to look like an ass.
I loved it though. I thought it was awesome because it was like the picture was like you standing up there with your backwards hat and like two people over there like supremely dressed up, and I'm like,
yeah,
man, right there, dude. That's how we roll.
Hey, totally. It's branding. It's branding completely.
Hey, once you have the title coach, you can get to do whatever you want with your hat.
Mm-hmm.
If you make you into a road sign, everybody would recognize it. You know, like your sign. If you make you into a road sign.
I'm telling you, if you had a logo like the logo I have with just the hat on the back and it's outlined his head, everybody knows, oh, it's Chris Jolly. We talked about this a year ago, Chris.
Yeah,
Chris's branding should be his logo, like right there, like above the bridge on his hat, and like a CJ right there, like his logo on the front. Oh, you have beautiful.
Yeah, it's there, man.
AKA the free
I've
coach.
never looked. He doesn't put his head down like this.
He does. Yes, he does.
He always does this. That's
the freight coach.
That's the
point. Have a great rest of your day.
Hey everybody, Chris Jolly here, aka the
freight coach. Yep. And he always accentuates the
freight coach.
Don't forget to like and share this video with somebody who may need this today.
Did you do that whenever you had your thing? Did you say the freight coach?
Yeah, I did actually.
Yourself that
I said, "Hey, my name is Chris Jolly, aka the freight coach."
But did you do that?
No, I didn't do that. I didn't do that because I was holding the side of the podium thing.
So Chris has the greatest hook because I always see Chris's videos like when I'm like late at night when I'm in my bed scrolling through LinkedIn. I always catch.
Where are we going?
It's not that
the word keeps brought up again. I'm not.
Stop it. Stop it.
Happening somewhere.
I'll have my
we got ladies
earphones
on the
in.
show. Man,
I'm gonna keep going.
So
I have
that's fine.
my
I'm a
earphones
pervert.
in. And whenever I pass one of Chris's posts, I hear his voice, even if I'm about to like flip like through it in my feed. So I've never seen Chris go like this because I always catch him like 10 seconds into the video because I've heard it and I've scrolled back up to see it. That is an amazing, amazing bait tactic. I'm just letting you know.
Nico just wants the action. He doesn't want the dialogue at the beginning. He skips right to the meat of it.
Right to it.
In bed.
Look, I have a point. Come on.
Sorry. So going back to TI. So Chris, you're going to be there on the main stage. Very excited about that.
Yes.
Excellent. Looking forward to that. Anybody else going to TI? Anyone else on here going to TI? Going to see anybody else?
Yeah. When is that?
It's Wednesday, Thursday, Friday next week in San Antonio, Texas. It's a hybrid event. They have the online, people can sign up online, and they're anticipating, I think, 250 to 300 people in attendance this year. So it's a little lower than a normal one, but yeah, looking forward to it. We'll be there.
We dropped the NITC, Chris. We do a plug for NITC.
Northern Indiana, yeah.
Northern Indiana Transportation Club. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, can I be an honorary member? I don't know if I'm gonna be able to attend any of the meetings.
Yeah, you're in. You're
Okay,
in. I'll put you as an advisor or something.
Yeah, just fucking throw something out there.
I think it's come to golf tournament. And he's an advisor.
Come speak at one of the events.
The heck.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
Oh man,
dude.
All right.
He's honestly, man. The LTNA is great. Like that was some of the most fun I've had at a conference, like ever.
That Brad's the only one I know. Like the president.
Brad's awesome. Like awesome.
What's Brad's last name? Somebody
Reinhardt.
Reinhardt. Oh yeah.
Yeah, he knows how to run a show, man. He really does. It was perfect. It was like 5 hours worth of stuff. Otherwise, everybody could run free. You know, obviously, because people there to have jobs and they have to work and everything else. And It's just a good time. Like, it's just everybody was chill. It's kind of like
where was it?
In Austin, Texas.
Austin.
When we emailed them, I was like, kind of, when you're, I don't know, I just thought I get crazy ideas sometimes. People are like, TJ is stupid, like that's not gonna work, or this is how we do things. We don't do regional, we only do cities. And so like I emailed him about it, about the idea and everything we had going and all this, and he was like, that's awesome. He's like, tell me what you need. He's like, I'll be to the first event. I'll get your name out there. You let me know. Blah blah blah. Like going through it was just like boom, support. Like sweet.
That's awesome. That's the kind of people you want to work with.
He's
yeah,
really
that's awesome. Very cool. Well, TI is next week. I'm excited about that. This is the last one though, I think, until really next spring. I mean, Freightways got canceled. Are there any others coming up? Any other trade shows coming up? I can't think of any more. They're going to be after this one. So it means I get to stay home a little bit. What one?
Do you think that Freightways they pulled the trigger too soon with that? Because to cancel it so far ahead. I mean, November is still like 2 months ago. 2 months.
I can understand their logic in doing that, because of the unknowns. But I wish that they hadn't, or I even think if they turned it back on, I bet people would still make it happen. I really do.
I don't think they had the registration numbers they needed.
I'm gonna bet that's the underlying reason, because I just don't see Craig doing it. I don't know. I mean, whatever. I think you're right. I think the numbers probably weren't there, and with everything else, I think they just decided not to mess with it. They make so much money off of the virtual events. I mean, he said that many times. It's costly to have an in-person event. So.
Yep.
Make some money off of that. So, all right, everybody. So that's coming up, which is good. Let's talk about this. One of the major warehousing companies in the industry said this week that they are full. No more space to put anything. I know there are a lot of places like Kansas City that are really getting into warehousing, and other parts of the country that are focusing on that. But what do you guys feel like is the real issue here in the supply chain in regards to, the ports, carriers, warehousing, distribution centers, demand? Like just somebody put a bow on this of like, where's the real bottleneck, and are we really focusing on it?
I mean,
ports.
I don't think it's necessarily a bottleneck effect as much as it is a how do I describe this?
An ecosystem.
Back up.
It's just a ripple effect, I guess is what I'd call it. I mean, when you go through the pandemic like we did, and then you have shortages in certain industries that are pulling and capacity in certain directions, and there's certain industries that are paying way more than others. I mean, I know, right? When the automotive industry goes down with the chip shortage, right? I mean, hundreds of thousands of drivers now are gravitating to certain areas, and then now you look at just with everything needing to move out, like packaging. So if you're running for out of a graphic packaging or a international paper or a Georgia Pacific or anything like that, I mean, like they are putting out a ton of freight and they're paying a shit ton of money. And then the automotive industry comes back on, and then I mean, so when you get tight like that, I think it just takes one little thing to throw a ripple effect into that. With the intermodal capacity going down, and then chassis shortages and wait times at the port. I mean,
but we've had issues before. You have little events that happen, but right now it's every event is critical. Every event causes a major problem.
When you got a rubber band and you're just kind of it's normal. But when you pull it tight, when capacity is already tight, everything's already tight. It just takes one little thing for that. Really hit.
No, you're right. I thought it was interesting that sorry, go ahead, Nico.
I think what we're really finding out though is that it's not just one like straw that broke the camel's back. We've really had like 18 fucking months of like just pebbles, just people throwing pebbles at the transportation industry. There's shit roads, crumbling bridges, still no commitment to fix infrastructure or provide light rail or anything like that. Plus you've got the truck driver shortage, plus you've got an aging industry of current drivers, plus you've got an industry that needs to get younger drivers in so that they can actually have their career be in the industry. Because come on, if you don't get younger truck drivers now, you're going to have a real problem in truck company management in a couple of years, because that's where the management comes from. And you have everything going on at a time where nobody's doing anything about any of it.
Yeah, anything the government's done has almost made it worse. So you look at the stimulus things they were doing there. Owner operators weren't working. I mean, they were staying home and just collecting, right? And then you've got, hey, young people, you get paid more to go work in the warehouse than drive a truck. I mean, driving a truck back in the day was like, hey, I could actually make more money doing this. Now
right,
it's not
without going to college too.
Yeah,
I
and
can
then
make more doing part-time work for Amazon.
But like Ford, GM, like when the chip shortage came, like they shut. Listen, I've shut down a Ford plant before. It's not fun. It's expensive. All right, and they're all about not happening. But then all of a sudden there's a chip shortage, and a lot of them were just for key fobs. They shut down for a month because they were getting aid from the government because of it, right? So it was like, we're going to take advantage of that and do this here and save on our transportation, save on everything else, because we're going to get that rebuilt. So all of that stuff made a huge effect too.
Yeah. And here's the thing that got me was I noticed that, like the new situation with the government, with Biden and the administration stepping in with the Port of LA, they're wanting them to work 24/7. And I posted this on Twitter. I kept thinking about this. If the private sector could have fixed that, they would have at this point. There's a reason they didn't go 24/7. I mean, think about this. Do they have the crane operators to go 24/7? How hard is it? Yeah, well, just think about this as one part of it. How hard is it to train somebody to run a crane at a port? How much expertise and experience do they have? Do they have enough people? If they don't, are people going to be tired running crane out? Like they would have done this already if they could have done this for one reason or another, right? Whether it's
they're also
crane operators, whether it's space, whatever it might be. Raquel, real quick, what do you got?
So I've been doing a lot of talking with new clients, old clients on imports, exports, right? The ports in South Carolina, they are backed up. There is one port down there that is not used. It's a backup port. I think they've also been talking about switching things over into the ports in Florida as well to try to just find other areas that are not over condensed. I talked to my guys out in Long Beach and they just have no space. There is nowhere to put the containers. There's nowhere to put any more material. They just can't get it out fast enough. And I've got guys currently down in the Port of Houston loading. The one sat there since yesterday at noon. He just got loaded. 24 hours waiting. So wow. It's just an overwhelming situation.
Yeah.
And you got to rely on the intermodal capacity to be able to get those containers out of there. And when rates are sky high, people are trying to go more intermodal. So that sucks it up even in the middle of the country.
Right.
It's go intermodal now, and they want to try to do that. It's going to be late anyways. Why go truck? Let's put it on a train. And just again,
TJ, you're probably right. I mean, it really is a ripple effect. I mean, it's just one thing after another, and then you just have.
I am right.
And humble, which is my favorite part. But you have it. I mean, have it going into this holiday season where, I mean, we're literally changing the way that we're doing Christmas. We're just not even going to attempt it. We're just going to change the way we do Christmas.
Same.
We're gonna find a place that we can give money that we would have normally paid gifts for, and we're going to spend our Christmas morning at Salvation Army. We're going to sign up and do that, and so we're going to use it as a different experience for our kids to do that. But much of that, even though it's a good thing, we probably should have done that anyways. Much of that is because I don't want to deal with this, and I don't want to contribute to the problem, by buying stuff that we really don't need anyways, and that's unfortunate. That's what our economy is built on, is consumerism.
You just get receipt and a tracking link, and then like in a box, you wrap the receipt and tracking link, and that way, like they can at least see like where it's at. So if it's 2 months down the road and they get it, that's fine. But they know they got it.
What's going to happen?
They get to open something.
Probably. I know.
That's what my mother's all about.
Crazy, so.
Regardless of the crap she gives me, I got to open something on Christmas. I'm like,
well, we're gonna do something, but it's gonna be just way different than
leave one of the kids and then do a vacation.
So,
then they get a Home Alone experience. You got a story to tell.
I gotta run, guys. Thanks so much.
All right, see you, Raquel. Good to see you. All right, everybody. We're gonna end this week with This Week in Pictures. We've got a couple of special ones to show. So
real quick,
Nico, go ahead real quick while I set this up. Go ahead.
You mentioned that, staying open 24 hours for the ports isn't really sustainable, but Raquel mentioned something else. Like, they're all full. So part of their outbound capacity isn't going to be running 24 hours no matter what, because the port doesn't control that. So their projected increase of 3,500 TUs per week probably is not realistic.
Right. I mean, and again, I only think that this goes back to what we started at the very beginning. I think the only reason the Biden administration is getting involved is because it's going to impact them with election season coming up starting in January.
Yeah, they're all
people are going to have a bad
Christmas.
Christmas.
About, man. They don't want to get anything done. They just want to get. It's like a. Or I'm not going to go.
If everybody has a bad Christmas, they're going to blame somebody.
Yeah.
Tired of optics.
Yeah,
that's all.
Exactly. Okay, everybody. we've got This Week in Pictures, and a huge shout out to Greg Roberts. Greg, tell us a little bit more about this.
Yeah, so this is obviously a wonderful kid having a fun time now. We did a staycation in Chicago last weekend, and this is my oldest son. He didn't want to go on the Ferris wheel, and we went in front of it though. And while my wife and other son were on the Ferris wheel, he decided to just get up out of nowhere and start doing a little flossing. So yeah, there was him doing the floss in front of the Ferris wheel on Navy Pier.
Nice.
So yeah, it was good
Very
though.
cool.
It was kind of, you talk about the differences between what you can do. We couldn't travel to Nashville as we were originally planning as a family because of restrictions with the kids' schools. They'd have to essentially be home for 10 days. So we said, hey, we'll figure out something else to do, and
we'll just chill here.
We went to Naperville, which is near us, and then also Chicago, and the kids and family. We all had a blast. It was fantastic.
What's that? What's it called? Pier what? What's the
Navy Pier?
Navy Pier. That's right. That's right. Navy Pier. Very cool. Yeah, it's awesome. Very cool. Well, as you guys know, I got to go down to Medellin. This is Gina Mann, our VP of marketing, who's phenomenal. She's my partner in crime. So we had to go together and get a lot of work done, which was really fun. Crazy story about the flight though. We got there. We had so many issues getting to the airport. Like, we were in Dallas to catch the flight. I woke up 5 minutes late. That's on me. Apologize. Ryan Mann, our director of lean marketing, missed the exit for the airport. He lives in Dallas. I'm like, how does this happen? He missed the exit. So we had to drive around. And then we get there. There was an immigration form we were supposed to fill out. We didn't fill it out. So now we're just like totally just stressing. We fortunately got on the flight because some crazy guy was yelling at the Spirit Airlines people about how bad their app was. And since we were calm, they came and worked with us and helped us get on. So I was very thankful for that guy. He was crazy. We didn't know if our bags were going to make it, but we were sitting on the plane for like 20 minutes after we got on. And then this crazy guy comes on the flight. So thankfully, that crazy guy is the reason that our bags actually made it down to Medellin. So we're very thankful about that. Got to actually have lunch with Juan and take a picture. Look at this, everybody. It actually happened. It's legit. We had a great time, great lunch. We
almost forgot the picture though.
We did. Well,
you checked your
it was midway. It was midway. I was like, gotta take a picture. We gotta take a picture. So no, it was great. Had a great time in Medellin with Juan. We have a client down there, RCG Logistics, that they had some guys move down there. They've got an apartment. This is their rooftop area with the lean sales team. They brought us over for dinner, and so we got a chance to hang out with them. So that was really cool. If you work with lean, you should just get an apartment down in Medellin, because then when you go down, you've got your own space. That's the way to do it, everybody. So that's pretty cool. On Saturday, we went on a graffiti tour at Comuna 13. I think I told you guys about. This is our tour guide, Christian, really good guy. We had a good time just to talk, and I spoke some Spanish. He spoke some English. We worked on help each other out and just talk life. It was really cool. But this guy's from the area. A lot of history. Juan could actually tell you more about, just because he was around during that time and knows it inside and out. It was really neat. Now they're really into, like, it's called the graffiti tour because they have artwork everywhere, and it's not like destruction artwork. I mean, it is beautiful graffiti. Like, this is one of them. It actually says Vita across the top. It's this huge mural. It's like where everybody gets their picture when they first get there. So of course I got my picture when I got there. This is kind of the view from up there. So we got to walk up and see. I mean, this is Medellin, so that was the view, which is beautiful. This is us going to Guatapé the next day. We stopped and had breakfast. I ordered all my meals in Spanish, so getting better, everybody. So that was fun. This is our team in the town of Guatapé, which is a cool old town right next to the area where this huge rock is. You can see these stairs right here. I did not actually get a chance to go up those steps this time. I was really bummed about it, but hopefully I will. But it's like 600 and some steps.
Is that a zoom in on your hair, or what is that?
It kind of, that's why I tailored after I saw this. And I was like, yes, that's what I'm looking for. So
dude, I have got to go up those steps.
I know it's like 700 steps though, and it's like 4,500 elevation. So I mean, like, it's like 700 steps in Denver is what it's like.
Is anybody done the slinky yet?
No, have not. We did a lunch cruise. So this is a really cool boat that we had lunch on, which was awesome. Got to take this picture, and I'm going to show you a video in just a second as we're going to end the show today. So that was really cool. And by the way, this is last year for Halloween. So what are you guys doing for Halloween this year? This was me last year. What are we doing? Anybody got any good Halloween costumes coming up? Anybody? No?
You reveal it. Yeah, that's for the world on the street before.
I thought that was pretty legit. My daughters found everything at different like dollar stores. They found the Gryffindor robe. They found the glasses. We did get the, we put the little, whatever up there. So I got to be Harry Potter with a beard. I'm like 40 years old Harry Potter is what I am there.
Middle-aged Harry Potter.
That's right. All right. So I got to show this to you. So we were on that boat. There was a little Macarena competition, everybody. And you might not be able to hear it, but so it took me a while to kind of get my groove and figure out but I have to tell you guys that I won this competition. I got a hat,
was this when you
trophy.
had your groove?
I got it. There's another video somewhere out here that I'll go ahead and stop sharing that.
NASCAR driver.
There's another video out there that's the whole thing, and I'm telling you, like, I was working. In fact, one of my coworkers said, "Hey, if you're gonna win, you have to twerk." And I said, "I don't twerk, but I tried, everybody, and it's on video. So if I can find that, I'll be sure to get that to you guys."
Don't. That's black. That's called blackmail.
Well, it definitely fits
doesn't
with
look
this
as
show.
crazy as I thought it would.
You know, with splooging and skeet, I think me twerking is only fitting.
Nico can
be
watch
a part of this show to cap this show off. So anyways, hey, TJ, thanks for joining, everybody. It's great to see you all again. We'll see you guys next week for another episode 80 of Word on the Street, powered by Lane Solutions Group. We're getting close to 100, everybody. Have a wonderful weekend. We'll talk to you guys soon.
See you guys.
Bye.
See ya.